And as Israel celebrates its 75th anniversary this week, one key leader is already looking decades ahead to focus on how the nation can prepare for its 100th. CBN's Chris Mitchell brings us that story from Jerusalem.
Former Knesset member and Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, recently introduced his latest book, 2048, The Rejuvenated State. Oren hopes the book will encourage a conversation or debate like the one that took place prior to the state's birth in 1948.
Before this country was created, there were 60 years between 1880s and 1940s where Jewish thinkers around the world thought about the future of this state. And by the way, a number of Christians as well thought about whether this country would be a secular country, religious country, capitalist, communist, pro-Western, pro-Eastern. Many of those debates proved influential in ensuring Israel's success, success of our first century.
At this event, Oren explained how he wants his book to be a conversation starter for the next 25 years of Israel's future.
This is my vision. There are 21 chapters in here that cover just about every major field of Israel's future, its educational policy, social policy, foreign policy, Israel, diaspora Jews, Israel, Palestinians, Israeli Arabs, everything, gender issues, environmental issues. It's all there. And the idea is to get readers here and to a large extent in the diaspora as well to engage with my vision. Get angry at it. Throw the book at the wall. Do me a favor, but engage with it. And let us stimulate and let us facilitate a discussion on what kind of future we want for our grandchildren.
Oren says even with the challenges Israel faces, like a nuclear Iran and the current debate over judicial reform, it's important to remember how far Israel has come in 75 years.
It's one of the great stories, if not the greatest story in modern history, of a people that survives the Holocaust, 3 years later declare a state with no allies, no natural resources, 600,000 Jews in this country, and we turned around and we made a country that has an army that's more than twice as large as the British and French armies combined, 7 of the world's leading universities. She's one of the few countries, by the way, Chris, has never known a second of non-democratic governance, along with the United States, Britain, Canada. Just a powerhouse of a country. Extraordinary, extraordinary stories.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
An improbable story that fulfills Scripture. Gordon?
It is a wonderful story that shows what can happen when God fulfills his promise and he keeps his covenant. And that's when you look at Israel, look, this is God keeping his covenant. And the people in Israel responding to that covenant and saying, our purpose, our destiny is to be a light to the nations, to show people what can happen when God is protecting you. We used to adhere to that. We used to declare that we're a city on a hill. That was the declaration over Massachusetts in the colonial period. But President Reagan brought that back and said the entire United States should be a city on the hill. Can we return to that? Right now, we're an example of division. We're an example of what not to do in politics. Can we turn this around and say, once again, we want to be a city on a hill. We want to be a city blessed by God, a nation blessed by God, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for